You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
What's going on, man? This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. Man, I got asked a question last night, and I got it this morning. I'm on my way to the gym that I haven't gotten in a long time, and I didn't realize that, man, my answer is no longer the same as it was when I was younger. Basically, somebody asked me what was my coaching philosophy in terms of motivating, athletes or kids when, understand that some kids don't need to be yelled at, some kids don't need to be, motivated a certain way. And I said, man, I didn't realize how much I've changed over the years. I tried to answer the question back to a parent, but it's so layered that it's very difficult to give the answer. So I think we've all seen coaches that yell or scream at kids, and coaches that urge kids, and we've seen the nice approach and the soft approach, and we've seen a hybridization approach. And I can tell you right now, in the dojo, I have a hybridization approach in my coaching and business in terms of health and wellness. I got a hybridization approach at times. And then there's times when I don't. When it is what it is. If you don't like it, you can go elsewhere. Now, here's what I want to tell you. And this is so difficult to answer. Is that, let's use football for an example, all right? When you're playing football at the Pee Wee level, age 5, 6, 7, and 8, if you don't like the approach of the coach, you just go find another team. When you get to middle school and you're a parent, if you don't like the approach of the coach, you just go find another team. When you're in high school, if you don't like the approach of the coach, you just go find another team. When you get in college, if you don't like the approach of the coach, it gets a little difficult, but you can enter into the portal and you can find another team. Let's say that you get drafted and you go to the NFL and you don't like the approach of the coach. You got to just deal with it. And let me tell you something. If you haven't learned how to deal with difficult coaching, you're not going to the NFL. And here's the situation. A lot of parents don't want their children to deal with difficult coaching, and they put it under the umbrella of, well, my kid doesn't respond well to that style. Your kid might respond well to that style. Your kid just hasn't been in that style long enough to elicit the response they need. Because if your kid shuts down, then unfortunately your kid is not the one. Because there's no athlete that can be catered to during their whole athletic career in order to become a good athlete. It's just not possible. You got to deal with tough styles. You got to deal with different styles in order to move forward. So it really gets down to a question of how bad the kids and the parents want it. Now, I don't believe in putting kids in any abusive situation, but understand that there are things that can happen in the coaching process from somebody who's on the periphery watching that looks like it's abusive. Now, the word abuse, A-B meaning outside and U-S-E, B meaning of use, it looks like it's outside of use, but an untrained eye to an untrained eye, it can seem like something is outside of utilization, when to a trained eye, it is exactly what we're going to need later on in the process. Now, when it comes to my philosophical approach of teaching, I believe when you're teaching, you meet the student where they are. You meet the student where they are, and you teach them what they need to know in order to move forward. When it comes to coaching, in the true sense of the word coaching, you hook one thing up to another, and then you coach it and coax it along. Now, these things change when you get to to different investment levels, meaning I've been in business programs, coaching programs at $12,500 a year, $10,000 a year, $25,000 a year. I haven't done big boy programs at $100,000, but other people have. When you're in a coaching program at $25,000 a year, $10,000 a year, let me tell you something about that coach. That coach is not changing their methodology or the way they do things to cater to you at all. They say, you do, and that's it. If you can't hack it, then you're out the program. And this parent that asked me this question, which was a really good question, I remember having a conversation with him at the US Open, and he was like, man, your style doesn't work for my kid. And I said, that's cool. I just won't, coach him no more, because I'm at the point now where I'm not changing my style. I'm too old now. And when I was younger and I was coaching, I used to try to work around the athletes to get the athlete to do this, to get that, because I wasn't established in my coaching. So I make concessions. Man, I'm older now. Man, you do it either the way you can do it the way I say, or you can find somebody else. It's okay. If you want to keep shopping around until you find the style that works for you, then continue to do that. Or you can find the best coach and then make your kid fit with the style. There are a lot of options. Listen, in our country, United States of America, you can shop around for what you want. You can find out what's the best for you. Here's what I know. There's a lot of ways to do stuff. Unfortunately, when it comes to success at the high level, man, there's really only one way. You gotta eat the dung, and you gotta take the dung, the boo-boo, or the poo-poo, whatever you want to call it, and then you gotta turn it into fertilizer in order to help you grow. And you don't get to choose the fertilizer, my man. The fertilizer is the fertilizer. And if a certain style isn't working for your child, I would encourage you to go find the style that best suits your child's needs. If a certain type of style is necessary to get your kid where they need to go, then I don't think you're going to be able to choose the style. Because if you want to be an Army Ranger or a Navy SEAL or any type of special forces, I don't think you get to choose the style of the instructor. I think you deal with the style and then you move forward. And the reason why this discussion is so layered is because there's a difference in training and coaching and teaching children, and training and coaching and teaching adults, and then training and coaching and teaching a child who's projected to play an adult game, which is why I find myself in this space trying to prepare some of these kids for 2028, because preparing them for 2028, they'll be adults in 2028, but they're kids now. But there's certain things in the process that they're gonna need, which is really outside of, if I had to write a textbook on coaching and training, what I would be doing with these children would be 100% incorrect. However, it's 100% correct for what they're going to need when they get where they're going. And it's really, really tough. And everything comes down to a basic needs analysis. And when I sit down and I coach and I talk to parents about coaching children, the first thing that I want to run over is the needs analysis. And the needs analysis is based upon the desired goal. If you want your kid to achieve a really, really, really high level in a certain thing, sometimes you might just have to find the people who have achieved at a high level in that thing and expose your kids to the coaching so that they can get what they need, and then put the emotional salve on them later to help them through the process. I'm older now. I'm 47. I'm not making a bunch of adjustments and changes if I don't want to. You either do it my way or you can go home. And that's where I am now. And I was not there 15, 20 years ago. Not even close. Well, I would say 15 years ago. I wasn't even close. I used to cater. Now I don't cater. That's a really, really tough question. And I'm not going to answer. I didn't want to answer the question the way that people answer it on, websites or in like a safe sport course or any, bullsmith like that. I want to give you the real deal. The real deal is, man, if you want to achieve at a high level, the coaching's hard. And I heard this, and I would highly recommend that you watch Last Chance U on Netflix. Watch that special. Watch especially the first season, and the second season. And I would tell people this. I heard this quote on that show, and I say it all the time. I say, everybody likes sausage, but nobody wants to know how it's made. Take care, man. This is Dr. Ferguson. Have a super fantastic day. Remember, I love you, but God loves you best.